Alright, what's going on today, YouTube? It's me, Shutting on Gameplays, and in today's video, we're going to be reacting to what is possibly the worst Elden Ring review anyone has ever seen on the internet. Now, I came across this video last night as I was going to sleep, and I really didn't pay attention to what he said, but I did catch a couple of things that caught me off guard. So for today's video, I wanted to do a blind review on this and just see what happens. I'm not going to come into this with any kind of hate. I'm not going to be rude or anything like that. I just want to see what he has to say. I'm going to pause the video in between and then basically just say what I feel about his points he made on why the game is so bad. So if you guys like this video and you guys want to see follow-up videos to the next two parts, because he did upload two other videos besides this one. So if you guys want to see, just leave me a fat like and let's get it, you guys.
Today I'll be giving you guys a review of Elden Ring.
Okay.
Essentially, I don't buy this game. The name of the game should not be called Elden Ring. The name of the game should be called You Die. Again and again and again. Because that's all you're really going to spend most of your time doing.
Okay, so I'm going to stop it right there. I would understand his perspective if he was a new Elden Ring player or a new Dark Souls player, which I think he is. I believe that's the point of the Dark Souls series, is to die a lot, is to have to die and then have to go back, level up your character, that way you can beat whatever you're stuck on. But let's just keep going.
Gonna die because the game has no easy difficulty. The difficulty spikes when you get to certain bosses. It's so unfair that you'll find yourself spending so many hours losing time away from your life.
I'm sorry, the Mr. Krabs with the world's smallest violin is fucking hilarious to me. But what I can say about this is, I'm a new Dark Souls player. The most Dark Souls I've ever played in my life was playing like an hour of Dark Souls 1, which by then I was impatient to play it. I was a kid, it was too hard for me then, I didn't have respect for it. And then I played Bloodborne for maybe 15 minutes, and my brother said that the game was ass, so he sold it back to GameStop, and I never got to play the game. So, as a fresh Elden Ring player, as someone who's new to the Dark Souls series, who's uploaded over 50 videos on Elden Ring, I can say this much: he does make a point to where the difficulty spikes are quote-unquote very, very hard, but here's the thing, you don't have to go into those boss fights. There's a reason it's called an open world game. You're supposed to be able to go wherever you want at any time you want. So just because you're stuck on one part of the game doesn't mean it's always gonna be hard. Yeah, you may have to do 30 minutes of grinding, but that's not a valid excuse as to why the game is bad. Every Dark Souls game has difficulty spikes. As a matter of fact, any game in history has extreme difficulty spikes. Take Resident Evil 4 for example. You cannot tell me that the villager Ganados are doing the same damage as the bandits that are on the island that fucking shoot missiles and shit at you. You can't say that there's not a difficulty spike in that game. Yes, with Dark Souls game, the difficulty spike is quote-unquote more erratic, and it's more like in your face. You can immediately tell as soon as you walk into an area, yeah, there's a difficulty spike here, but you can't say that's what makes it a bad game.
So I would say this game is for somebody who really is looking for a sandbox. They have no family, no friends, no life.
You are made.
Okay, so I won't lie to you. I'm kind of angry at the statement that this guy just made. Simply for the fact of, for one, he hasn't given good reasons as to why the game is bad. Like, actual reasons that are going to turn people away from the game. And for two, like, I honestly feel like what he just said didn't make any sense to me. You can't just say a game is bad, not give reasoning to why it's bad, and then shit on the community that likes the game. You cannot do that. For one, that's just going to cause irreversible backlash to your channel. You're going to get so many people that are going to dislike your videos. You're going to get so much backlash, so many people are going to leave your channel, because not only are you shitting on the game itself, you're shitting on the people who enjoy the game and actually love the game and take it for what it is. My thing is, if you're going to say the game is bad, that's fine, but don't shit on an entire community and say that they're lifeless fucks with no friends and family who aren't ever gonna fucking go anywhere. You can't do that to an entire community of people who have grown up playing these games and love them to death. You cannot do that shit. Just because you're quote unquote bad at the game and you can't make progression in the game doesn't mean you have to shit on the game and anyone who's ever played it or anyone who's ever enjoyed the game. You cannot do that shit. That's wrong. That's fucked up. You can say that you don't like the game, but that doesn't mean you have to shit on the people and literally, quite literally, insult the people that like this game. That's not how it fucking works. This isn't a review of Elden Ring. This is a guy shitting on it because I can guarantee he never made it out of the tutorial section and was stuck on Soldier of Godric.
Maidenless.
When you die, you lose everything you collected. Everything.
Okay, so this is how I know for a fact he never made it out of the tutorial section. When you die in Elden Ring, you don't lose everything. You lose the runes that you have collected until the time you die. And even then, all you have to do is run back to where you died, pick up your little grace thing that's on the ground, the little Erd tree roots that sprout from the ground, and you get all of your runes back. Which could be even simplified by something much, much easier. If you're fighting a mob, all you have to do is kill the mob and then warp to a grace and spin the runes. That way you don't have to worry about wasting them.
Bro, my head hurts, dog. Oh my god.
My head is fucking literally like plastered into my skull right now. Like it's just stone encaving my brain, and my brain is like literally beating up against this stone wall to try and break free from this bullshit that I'm hearing from this guy. I'm not trying to be an ass. I'm just saying you're not giving valid points as to why the game is bad. Then you're shitting on the community that likes the game, quite literally and frankly insulting the fuck out of them. And then for 3, you're not even saying what the game is actually doing. When you die in Elden Ring, you do not lose everything. If you died in Elden Ring and lost everything, you would be at level 1 when you respawned.
Bro, my mind's talking about like this game's Minecraft, bro. You lose everything.
Like, for real, like, you just lose everything on death and shit. Your whole inventory, everything, bro.
That means you start over, so leveling up is extremely hard because of the nature of the game and its difficulty level.
Like I said before, he said it's hard to level up in this game because of the nature of the game itself and the difficulty. It's an open world game. It's literally giving you the option to either go there or not go there. You don't have to be there. That's why it's called an open world game. If a level or a spot that you're in is way too hard, leave the area, level up a couple of times, go back to the fight, and you'll find it's much easier. Literally, like, I don't understand where this guy is coming from because I don't know. I'm just gonna keep playing it.
And it's not fun. There's nothing fun about this game for somebody who is new to the franchise. And then you...
Okay, so he said that this game isn't fun for anyone who's new to the franchise. I literally just told you guys, I'm a new player to the Dark Souls series. If you watched my series, I spent 3.5 hours fighting the Tree Sentinel because I was too stubborn to go and level up.
I got stuck on a fucking tree!
That was literally my doing, not the game having bad game design. That's why it's an open world game. You're supposed to be able to explore around, level up your character, and then come back if you're stuck. You're not supposed to just fucking ram your face into the same boss over and over and over and over and over again. It will never work like that. You will never have progression because you cannot be stubborn and not fucking go level your character. That's not how these games work. And I'm trying to look at it from his perspective. I'm a new Dark Souls player. I understand where he's coming from, but not to the extent that he's putting it at.
You look at the graphic style. It's a joke. It is literally a joke.
I'm done.
Oh my god. Okay. This guy is quite literally in a fantasy world of his own. This right now was re-uploaded because the guy had to delete the videos off of his channel because of how much public backlash it got. This video was re-uploaded in 360p. That is worse quality than the fucking TVs that have the turning knobs on them in the 1980s. This is a 360p video, and you can still see the sparkles on the fucking water. You are
And then you look at
absolutely
the graphics,
insane.
guys, it's a joke.
The graphics on this game are not a fucking joke. This is a 360 image right here. You can see every detail, every single nook and cranny of this 360 video. Imagine if this shit, what this little video would look like in 1080p. Your mind would be fucking blown. Elden Ring is one of the most beautiful games I have ever played in my life, and it's quite literally the best way I could explain Elden Ring is it's like you're stepping into a medieval gothic 1800s painting. It is just absolutely gorgeous in the way that they make every single environment interact with itself is so beautiful to me. It is an absolute gorgeous masterpiece, just a beautiful work of art. Like I said, this video was re-uploaded in 360p. You can see every fiber of the fucking leaf right there, dog. So the fact that he said that this game is a graphical piece of shit aggravates me to a point to where I don't even want to finish this fucking video. And even then, you could argue against his fucking thing. If you look at the other Dark Souls games, if you go as far as to say, he could have specified and just said the character models are really shitty. When in a Dark Souls game has the character models ever been HD quality, high graphics, super defined fucking sweat dripping off of the man's armpit delicious? It has never been like that. Do you want to know why? Because graphics do not make the quality of your game better or worse. I don't give a fuck what you say. If the gameplay is good, and the gameplay is interactive, and the gameplay is intuitive and wants you to keep playing, it does not matter what the graphics are. Keep in mind, the newest Cyberpunk game that just came out was a fucking beautiful game. You could see ray tracing, you could see everything. But the game itself is a laggy, disgusting, broken fucking mess that was actually one of the worst selling games of this decade. You see where I'm going? Graphics don't make a game good or bad. So if you say that the graphics are bad and it's going to deter you away from the game, then why the fuck are you playing a Dark Souls game? Anyone who has ever played Dark Souls knows that we are not here for the graphics, we are here for the gameplay. Okay? Look at Vanguard. Look at COD Vanguard. Vanguard has some of the most impressive COD graphics I have ever seen in a COD game. But do you want to know why that game fucking sucks? Because the gameplay is boring. It's fucking dog shit. Everything kills you in 2 bullets. Nobody wants to play that shit. That's why Vanguard, even though its graphics are absolutely incredible, it only sees an average of 20,000 players now. And that's not a false fact. You could look up the charts on your fucking own time, on your computer, on your phone. You could look at these charts and see that Vanguard doesn't have a player base because, in reality, it's a great graphical game, but it's a shitty gameplay game.
It is like last gen being sold for new gen.
You said it's last gen sold for new gen consoles. Really? If it's last gen, then why the fuck does Elden Ring, for one, have ambient lighting? Why does it, for two, have ray tracing if you so desire? You could put it on PC. You can model the quality of your game from, I believe it's 720p 360 all the way up until 1090. What are you talking about? Like, literally, just what are you talking about?
I don't understand who they made this game for, where you want low frame rates, but that for me, that's a massive deal breaker. I'm a massive motion buff.
Okay, I will say this. When Elden Ring first came out, there was a lot of PC performance issues. The game would just run at 60 frames per second. Now, If we were in the PS3 era, that would be fine, but people are nitpicky and they always want to play games at least 100 to 120 frames per second. Now, saying that, the first patch they ever had of Elden Ring, which was, I believe, a week and a half after release, they fixed every single PC graphical issue, every single frame rate issue. I am a valid Elden Ring player on my PC. I'm using a gaming laptop, which only has speeds up to fucking 180 FPS. That's a lot. But from today's standards, where some computers can go up to 600 to 1,000 frames per second, this isn't shit. The fact that he says that the graphics and frame rate deters him from the game is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. I bet a lot of people don't know this. Bloodborne is constantly, no matter what you do, there is no slider to change your FPS. Bloodborne is constantly ran on 30 frames per second. That is PS2 standards for FPS. And nobody gave a fuck. You want to know why? Because the game was still good. It still played very, very well from what I've seen on other YouTube videos. The game was massively critically acclaimed as one of the best games ever fucking made. And that goes for Elden Ring too. Just because a game doesn't have the quality that you expect doesn't mean it's a bad game.
And to do something like that is unacceptable. Most of your time in the open world is spent just like running around kind of aimlessly, if I'm being honest. It's one of those games where like it's so spread out. The map is so big, you're going to spend a lot of time running around in a very...
So one of this guy's arguments is that there is no direction to go and you're walking around aimlessly.
It's an open world.
It's a fucking open world game, bud. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but there is beyond obvious dirt tracks that will literally take you through every single part of this map in Elden Ring. You don't need to know where to go. All you need to know, follow the dirt path, you're going to end up somewhere. This is what I don't understand. When you open your map in Elden Ring, the first thing you see is Limgrave, the lake, and Godric's castle. So what does that tell you? There's two places to go right now if you don't want to explore and go get the map pieces. What you do everything in the lake, and then you go to Stormvale Castle. Or you could do it vice versa. You can go do Stormvale Castle, or you can go do the lake. What is so hard to understand about that? You're not walking around aimlessly. The dirt path, the very first dirt path you experience in Elden Ring, if you follow that bitch in a straight line, it will take you directly to Stormvale Castle. What the fuck is so hard to understand? You're not walking around aimlessly. If you say that this game has no direction, then from the first step, you're literally turning around and just walking.
Very open field that doesn't necessarily have a particular purpose for being that open. I'd like there to be a purpose to almost everything. Like everything is interactable and things like that, but it just doesn't feel like that.
Okay, so he just said another reason why this game is ass is the game itself isn't interactable. Are you fucking kidding me? This literally validates my point to show that he has never been outside of the tutorial area. He got his ass kicked by Soldier of Godric, fucking put the game down. There is breakable environments. Catacombs. The walls are breakable in all the catacombs. Cave walls will fall in on themselves if an enemy hits the wrong cave wall. Any single object in this game is interactable. You can roll into every single object and it will break. Trees are broken by boss fights. The environment around you gets destroyed just from fighting a singular boss. Like, I don't understand what you're saying. You can go to the Academy of Rhea Lucaria right now, swing on one of the pictures in one of the fucking halls, and that picture, the smallest picture ever, will break in half, be chopped in half, and fall to the fucking floor. Something as small as a picture is interactive in this game. You can't just say that this game is interactive without playing the game. Like, it literally sounds like you never made it past the tutorial section, bruh. Like, come on, man. You can't just be shitting on the game and shitting on the entire community without giving valid reasons as to why the game is bad.
And I think without spoiling any parts of the story, which is lackluster by the way.
You say the story is lackluster, which literally tells me, for one, you have not traveled to any church in the game, you have not read any item description, and the most biggest important one of all, you have never listened to any NPC dialogue. Bro, literally all you have to do is listen to what people tell you in the game to figure out the story. This is the most summed up version of the story of Elden Ring that I can give you. Radagon and Marika are the same person. Radagon tried to restore the Elden Ring. He fucked up really bad, pissed off the Greater Will. Greater Will said, "Oh, no one's dying anymore, you're all immortal tarnished." And us, as the specifically chosen tarnished, go to the Elden Ring to mend it, to bring death back to these people which are stuck in an immortal life of torment and torture. Of always dying and coming back. That's not hard to understand. Like, bro, it's not a convoluted story that you have to fucking spend rocket science amount of hours looking up. All you have to do is listen to what characters tell you.
I think that will be as honest as anyone's going to be about this product.
You want to know why the fucking game is so goddamn hard for you? Because you're using a short bow with fire arrows on a boss that's 50% resistant to all status effects. You wonder why the fucking game is hard. You're making the game hard on yourself. This is what people don't understand about open world games. They're hard if you make them be hard. There's a reason it's open world. You're supposed to explore around, get new items, get stronger, and then challenge the boss you were stuck on. It's not a hard concept to understand.
I don't know who they made it for. Again, I couldn't speak lowly enough about this game. I don't recommend it. And I think if you're smart, you'll just play something else.
So at the end of this review, after not giving any valid points as to why the game sucks, probably besides the PC graphical issues, which aren't even graphical issues, they were just frame rate drops. That's the only valid point that he had, and even that valid point gets thrown out the window because the first patch in the game, they fixed all of the graphical issues and FPS count encounters that people had with the PC version of the game. Do you see what I mean? Like, this guy is so woke for no fucking reason. This guy is literally shitting on a game and then actually telling the community that plays this game that they suck ass and they don't have family or friends just because they like the game. It's not our fault as people that played the game that you don't understand the game and don't know what to do. What is so hard? You're saying that you're walking around aimlessly. What is so hard about getting on a dirt path and walking in a straight fucking line? There's nothing hard about that game. And the thing about open world games is they don't have to be open world. You can take a linear passage. There is literally, if you look at the map, there was one passageway in Limgrave that goes up, it goes left, it curves up, and then it lands right in the mountaintops. Obviously, the mountaintops of the Fire Giant is going to be an in-game place. Obviously, the place where you start off is going to be a beginning place. It's going to be easier. What the fuck are you talking about that there's no, you're just wandering around aimlessly? If you look at the map itself, it's quite literally a straight fucking line all the way to the end game. You don't have to go exploring, and obviously the way that you're exploring isn't fucking working.
Bro, I'm gonna have to take a fucking shower because of this dude.
Oh. Alright, so that's where he ended his video. Just on that note.
Face check is a
all I'm gonna say, bro, is how the hell can you fault a game that you yourself, and there's evidence to support this in your video that you made about talking shit about the game. There's evidence to show that you never made it out of the tutorial area and never explored the open world, bro. This isn't a review of Elden Ring. This is someone who didn't understand what the fuck they were doing, someone who didn't go out of the tutorial area and explore a little bit, it's literally someone who didn't play the game itself. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. It's been me shutting on gameplays. Peace out.
Nigga, I'm gonna take a shower because of this bullshit.